Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Card Craft. Thanks for joining me again today. Thank you all. A little mini pocketbook, little mini travel journal, lots of things this could be called. I'm actually getting my inspiration this week from a YouTube that I came across the other day, and this is inspired by Annie at Vintage Lace Journal. Now, her YouTube channel is Vintage Lace _Journal 75. I will pop the link below to her video that she did. Now, she did this as a mini travel journal, and I fell in love with it. It's one of these one-sheet books. Now, you've seen me do them before. The last one I did was this one, where we did a 12 by 12 sheet along similar lines, but this one had the flip-ups as well. So if I remember, I'll pop the link to this video in the description box as well. So what we're doing is similar to this. Now, she's done it with an A4 sheet. And what we've got is a little journal. I've actually popped a signature in mine so that it can be a little pocketbook as such, as in an old-fashioned pocketbook. So we've got a front page, we've got a pocket here, we've got a tag here that just slides down. We've got another page for journaling or for popping a photo on. We've got another journal card that just goes in the side. Going over, we've got more journaling. We then go into our signature, and these are literally just scraps that I had sitting in my container just up there. More journaling. Another little tag, we'll turn him over. Another little tag for journaling on as well. I've popped a rub on this page just to give it a little bit of oomph, bit of labelling, and another tag for journaling at the back. This thing is so easy. If that'll go in, it'll be even easier. Right, let's get started. And I've just put a little bit of stuff on the back. This is so easy. As I said before, it is one A4 sheet. Now, I've used just coffee dyed paper. They can be whatever you want. Just being careful that if you're using patterned paper, that it's non-directional. It makes it so much easier. I will show you later with one that is directional and make it a little bit larger, but if you're working with something that is non-directional or just plain, it's so much easier. So this is what I'm classing as my right side, because this has this lovely dark marking from where I've baked it in the oven. It's got all these wonderful colours, whereas the other side is fairly light. So that's my wrong side, okay? So I'm going to have it starting wrong side up, landscape way. So the long side going from right to left. So first up, we're going to just fold it straight up so that our long side has a fold in it. Try and get them as close as you can to matching. You've got time later on to rearrange if you need to. Turn it down, give it a good score. Okay? Turn it back around where you were, undo it again. So we've got that score line going through here. You don't need to use a scoreboard with this, especially not if you're using copy paper. It's so light, easy to fold. So now we're going this way. So we're going we're going left to right. My husband always says I'll never make a navigator. Right, so again, matching up your papers as good as you can. A lot of mine I've trimmed down from A3 sheets, which are the larger sheets, so they're not quite square to start with. All right, like so. Now picking up this top sheet, so now you've got this cross section going through. Picking up this top sheet, we're going to fold it back on itself, okay? And again, have that nicely going down your fold line. Straight down, give it a little bit of a crease. We can give it a little bit of a shimmy later on, that's not a problem. All right, turn it over. Just flip it straight over so that your long piece is out here now. And then we're going to fold that one back on itself as well. Okay. So hopefully all that will match up. And we've got 2 folds in here. We've got 1 fold in there. Give it a good crease again. And what we've got now is this. So you've got your valley, your mountain, your valley. So if it sits up, you've got this peak in the center. What we need to do, now I don't know if you can see them properly. Can you see my score lines? And what I want to do is cut where this crease is from that score line to this score line. Just that little bit. Okay? I'm just going to use my ruler and I'm going to use a blade. If you want to, a friend gave me this idea today, hold it like that and use your scissors straight down there. If you want to use your scissors, if you're handy with your trimmer and you've got a little V blade, you can do it with that one as well. You're not going to be able to do it if you've got a circular blade on your trimmer. So I'm just laying that down there. I'm going from that crease line down to this crease line. Okay, check that I'm at my crease lines. Sitting it back round again, we're going to take our 2 points. So remember we had the mountain sitting here before we even cut this. So if we put it back like that, you've got your mountain. You ready? Going to grab it with one hand, going to grab it with the other hand, lifting them right up so that they join. And then all we're going to do is open it like that. Does that make sense? So, wrong side up, folding it over, giving it a good crease in here, folding it back, giving it a crease, folding it back on itself, creasing, turning over and creasing. So now all you can see is the wrong side, okay? We're going to let it sit out. We're going to cut from here and back down here. Set it back up so it's like a wedge. One hand on this point, one hand on this point, and just take it round. That's all. We're just opening up that cut area. Got it? And now I'm just squeezing those in and folding that there so that I've now got a spine down here and I've got little pages. Now, when I've done that, if I wanted to, because I've just gone that way, which meant this top opening is at the start. It's up to you whether you go this opening and then a top and this fold and then a top. So the whole thing is up to you which way you want to go. I've gone that way and I like this, how it finishes all in here now. What I want to do now is just see if I need to recrease everything. So that's pretty good. That's all measured up and sitting fairly well. This one's a little bit out, but that could have just been my paper to start with. So we'll just see if we can shimmy that over a little bit. Might not. Let's have a look. It is there. It may. Let's have a look. Might need to trim that just a little bit. So we want it to match as much as we possibly can for when we glue it. This front side is perfect. First one I've done that's perfect, and I've done a few of them now because I love them. All right, so that's my first page. This is all looking pretty good. That one's out a little bit as well. That's where it's all starting to come undone. So I'm just going to re-push those ones. Right, just like so. That one will fold over. That's still looking pretty good. This one's starting to get better now. Just give them a good push. And then we want this one to hopefully, if we can't, we might need to trim it a little bit, or our inking will will actually cover a lot of problems. So I'm just pushing that down a little bit. So I'm getting that closer and closer, but it might not match perfectly. And I reckon my problem with that was when I cut down my score line, I never cut directly in the middle of that score line. It's a me thing. I've never been able to do it. Right, I reckon that's going to have to be as close as it gets. Right, so here's our little book. Okay, just like that. Nice and easy. So we've got pocket up here more or less. And yes, I know at the bottom it's still open, but we're going to glue this bit in here. What I'd like in here would be a notch. So I'm just going to use my little circle notch. And it's easier to do this before you've glued it all together, because at the moment I can open all this out, okay? So I'm going to notch that one round about in the middle. And we'll just tidy that one up. I can cut this 3 times, and 1 time will muck up every time. About time I sharpened it, I think. Right, so there's one. And there's my other one. And I'm thinking I might put I'm going to put it on that side again because I want some lace in there. So again, I'm going to open this bit up. If you need to, just open it all up. It's fine. Sit that in. Give that a push. See, it's not going to work again this time too. Don't you hate punches sometimes? But then what would we do without them? About time I swapped that one over, I think. I've got another one that size. Right. So now I've got 2 little notches. Got one there and one there. Just like so. So I've got a notch in here. I've got a side pocket, or what will be a side pocket. I've got a notch in here, and I've got what will be another side pocket. So very quickly, I'm just going to ink around all that, just so I can highlight up where I'm going to put a little bit of ink inside that bit where the notch is. And I, of course, want to go down that notch just to take the eye away from where I've hand trimmed that notch. Won't take much just to go around. I like to do the insides of where they fold because it looks like they've been handled just a little bit more, and it makes them look old. But that's just me. I like everything to look old. You don't have to do them, of course, in these colours. Some bright colours would look lovely depending on what it is that you do. I tend to always work in these colours. I know, a bit monotonous, but it's what I like. So just you do you. Just because I'm working in these colours doesn't mean everybody has to. So that's that one. This one, again, and fold over there. That one's already got a nice crisp edge with what looks like ink all over it anyway. Put a little bit of ink down there, because that's the back of my pocket. And I'm going to, of course, do around where I've trimmed that notch. A little bit on this side. And a little bit down there. Right. So there's that. Might need to do the front, Kylie. And we might need to do the back. You can see I'm not taking much care with my inking. It is really just to give my edges, especially with my coffee dyed, because where they are edged anyway, they tend to have a little bit darker edge where the coffee has gone onto them when they've been sitting in the pan. Right, so there's our little book. What we're going to do now is glue it together. So I'll put that punch away because we don't need that anymore. Just using my normal glue. And everything down the bottom, we will glue. Now, if you're not making this into a book like I've done, you might want to glue down the centre as well. But because I'm sewing a signature in here, it's going to hold all this flat. and keep it all together. So for my gluing, I only need to go down the bottom, okay? So first things first, because this will be an opening at the back. So I'm just going to go straight along there, close as you can to the back. And I need to go, because that's my top opening, I need to go across this one as well. So if I turn that way, you can see what I'm doing, can't you? Might make it a little bit easier. So that's those ones. Give them a push down. All right, turning that over. And now we're going to do the same. I've turned it right over, so I've taken, there's my back 2 pages, and I've gone all the way to my front 2 pages. And now I'm going to do the same along here, okay? I'll start right in my corner. It just needs a small bead going down there. Now I've tried to get as much prepared as I can tonight with this one. Sorry, my eyes aren't brilliant at the moment, and so I've needed to get really close to all my work, which meant that if I'm stamping or anything else, I've had to have my head right over my work. So, and I didn't want to do that to you, so I've prepared as much as I can prior. So here's our book. It's all glued together. It's nice and flexible. Don't use anything too stiff. You could get away with probably a manila folder. I had a friend that tried it with the suspension files, and that was a little bit too hard, she seemed to think. So just watch how you what you're doing, but copy paper works a treat. It could be a digital, it could be just coffee dyed like this one. Right, so at front, as I said, I've got, look at me go, I am so prepared. So this is a stamped image, and I've just stamped all these things on coffee dyed paper again, all my scraps that I had sitting in my little, you know, A4 files that I have sitting on top of my desk. So what I want is, I want this one, and I've already inked it for you. I want this one at the top up here. Down here, what I want is some lace, and I have my lace sitting somewhere. Hang on. There. So, oh, excuse me. I want that lace. Let's see if we can find a right or a wrong. Don't think so. I want this lace to sit directly down the bottom. So I'm just going to trim that off there. Again, this is just coffee dyed or tea dyed lace. Let's say this one's coffee dyed. Set that to the side. Put that back in the lace drawer now. And we're going to pop a piece of lace just in here. So I'm going to go to the fabric glue. If I can undo that. Get rid of all the glue that's sitting on the fabric glue. And what I want is, what did I do with it? My little silicone brush. All right, I'm just going to pop a bead straight down there. If it comes out, here it comes. All right, just across there. Bang. And I'm just going to smudge it out a little bit so that it's not sitting in too big a thick areas. Doesn't need to go over all of it. And I just want this to sit right on the edge of this book without stretching it, just so that it sits on there, like that. All right, this one I'm going to, it should, yeah. So if I sit that on the bottom of that lace, I've then got more or less an even border going all the way around. So we'll glue and glue is what we'll do. I'm going to put a little bit of white glue all the way around. Just a little bit. You can see that my eyes are not brilliant because I'm nowhere near the edges. Okay, and then I'll pop some glue stick in there as well. Okay, which will fill out the centre part. Right. So I'm going to go that way. And I know I've got an even gap each side. It's going to sit right on the top of the lace. And I'm just going to smooth that up. So any little piece of ephemera or whatever else that you've got, you can pop on the front. You know I like my stamping. It's my main love, I suppose. So I've got that. What I also want is a little label, and I've got my little label down here. And this is just, I don't know where it came from, sorry. So it's just a little label, and I just want that in there. But what I want to do, it has item number here. I'm thinking I want a little number on that. So just bear with me. See, I wasn't quite as prepared as I thought I was going to be, was I? Right, if I get out my little ones. Now, I've got these tiny, tiny little numbers in my stamps that come from close to my heart. It's with their stamp sets. But they're tiny and they fit on there beautifully. So, just grab a little block. Grab some ink. I'll ink that in the same colour. All my stamped images have been inked in this, which is the VersaFine Clear in the Acorn. Right. I'm sorry if I'm going to be out of shot, but I've got to bring it fairly close to be able to see what I'm doing at the moment. Right. See how cute those little numbers are? I love them. Right, I'll just sit you back in that one. Because they're so cute and so little, I do have a tendency to lose them. But I have friends that collect them for me these days, so that's all right. All right. So this is going to go on here. I'm going to do it with fabric glue though, because it's going over both the lace and this, just to make sure. So I've got a cloth here and I'll get rid of that bubble that's already on there. I'm sure there's something wrong with my lid. It seems to have to wind so far up at the moment. All right. I don't need that much because this stuff oozes. I'm so useless with this glue. It's not funny. All right. We'll just spread that out a little bit, like so. And then we're going to sit that around about the middle, as close to the middle as you can, like so. Okay, so that's technically my front. Oh, that glue is shocking at the moment. All right, so inside, I've already got a little pocket done up. Again, another stamp, and I'm just going to pop that straight on there. So that's with our normal white liquid glue. Just the three sides. It goes up that way. I haven't I have not popped a notch in this one because that stamp goes quite close to the top. I don't want to lose any of it. And you can really see that it's a pocket anyway, so. Right. This one's going to go in here. Down like so. Try and even it up. Give them a push. Give it a little, you know me, I tend to push it in a little bit just to make them easier to pop in if I don't have a thumb notch. Right. Now I want to make a little tag to go in here. So I'm hoping this is round about the right size. It's going to be a little bit tight because you can see that it's only just in there. Sorry, I got a bit sidetracked. The daughter's just brought one of the turtles in to me, and he's sitting on the desk with me. So I will try not to use any cutters or anything like that while he is floating around. Hello, Chuck. We have baby turtles that I got for my birthday a couple of months ago, and we have two of them. One is Chuck, one is Teddy, and Chucky has just come over for a visit. Thank you, Hannah. Okay. Right. So, see, I've got completely sidetracked now. Hello, darling. See, everybody else has cats when they're crafting. I have turtles. Hello, Chuck. You're just going to sit there and watch, are you, darling? Okay. Right, so that will fit in there nicely. What we're going to do, and it sits in there. I don't need to chop any more of the length off as well. So that's this one. What I want to do, just a Tim Holtz stamp that I've pre-stamped and popped on there. But I want something else going on over the background of this. So what I'd planned to do was, got caught in the tripod, is this alphabet one. Again, Tim Holtz alphabet one, and we're just going to pop it here. And we're going to pop it there. Please, Teddy, watch the... Oh, it's not Teddy, it's Chucky. But watch the pins that are sitting over there, darling. Okay. So, what we need is my stamping mat, which is this one. And I will need a block, and I'm just going to go down across there. So I'm hoping this block fits it. Yes, it does. All right, yes. Time for Chuck to go back to bed, please, Hannah. Not a normal family at all in our house. But then again, what is normal? All right, so right up the top. I have to pull it down for this first one, sorry, because I just can't see where I'm going. All right, just give that a good push. I don't mind if it doesn't come out too well. I don't mind that grungy look anyway, and that should finish this piece, and I should just need 2 stamps on it, so that's okay. Right, am I going back up here? Might have to go that way just so that I can see that I'm straight, because I cannot see any other way. All right, so don't watch how I did that one-handed and all the rest. It's bad. And I've still missed a bit anyway. Right, but that's all right, because this is going to sit in here. I will ink that. Just going around there. I've already inked the photo stamp. And then what I want to do with these ones is put a tab at the top. Now, that will fit my tab, so that's okay. So I'm just going to glue this straight on, and I'm just going to use a straight glue stick for that one. All right, I love it when I have nearly a full stamping project. Do you love my stamps? Okay, just about there, down a little bit to there, move you, squizzle you over a little bit, kind of straight. These eyes, I'm amazed anything's straight at the moment. Right, what we want to do with that is, in my bits and bobs here, right there, is I want to make a tab for it. Now, what I tend to do with these ones is I will cut a circle or an oval, depending on which one I want, and I'm just going to fold it in half. I quite often like doing it with the ovals. They just give me, I don't have a whale tail punch, so I've either got digitals or I'll make my own this way. Now, that's just a bit boring. What I like to do with it is I'll just take off an edge like that, okay? So I'm just going to chop that out like so, just like we do with our tags. It would have gone that way. Would it? Or would it have gone that way? It would have gone that way because there's a pencil line. So I'm just going to turn it over and trace around this side. You know how when we want to make sure that our tags are the same both sides? So do the same with this. Just straight down. So what I've now given myself is a tag. Okay, so again, I'm going to just squizzle round the edge of that just to darken it up, give it a little bit of texture, I suppose would be, but front and back. And again, I'm going to stamp on this. So what I want to do with this one, I've got so much glue on me, sorry, is I'm going to grab my little square one again that I had sitting here. That's right, turtles turned up. They could have been anywhere by now. We'll grab another one. And back into my numbers. But I want a slightly larger number this time. That's going to sit directly under here. So I know this one fits. This is from Witchcraft Do You Do. It's one of their clear ones. That's one of their own brand. And that one will fit directly up there. So that's the one I'm going to use. That one can be put away. There's this one. Right, and I'm going to go so that it's directly under that fold line, like so. Now I'm going to do the same stamp on both sides. So I'm going to do exactly the same one, back up here, just underneath that fold line, and give that a push. So now I have it on both sides. I can pop that onto the top of that tag. And when you pop it on, it's going to go where you've cut your little notches. So it'll sit in like that, okay? So I'll use this glue for my first bit. And what I tend to do is go from my bottom of my notch and down there, which will capture, wow, Kylie, which will capture the right one. I'm going to put that in there so that I can find a roundabout centre, just about there. And my centre, of course, because I'm going there, 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 that one is my centre. And I reckon, between that one and that one, that's not right. Between that one and that one. There we go. Bringing it so that that point and that point are on it. Okay. Then I will use my glue, just my normal glue again, my white glue, on the rest of this. I'm all over the show. Sorry, girls. Sorry, everyone. All over the show. Folding that over, giving it a push. If you've popped too much glue like I have, just get some paper towel or a piece of cloth or something like that and take that off. So now I've got that to go in the front. And if we can find the book, we're doing really, really well. Oh, my word. Here we go. Right. So that one can go in there, like so. And that will fit in that notch. Still allows it to close. Okay. I've got this bit in here, and I just want a little label or a little tag or something like that, just to go up in there. I'm going to use the dark one to get rid of all that, so that it stands out on that coffee dyed paper. I don't want to use up too much space because I want to be able to use that for journaling. All right, pull this one back over. Just give it a little bit of glue. Oh, if we use the tweezers, we won't get quite as gluey, will we? And I'm just going to put that up there, like so. Right, our centre one. What I'd like again would be some lace. This is just me. I just like my lace. Those that know me all know that I need an intervention anyway with my lace collecting. So I'm just going to go straight up there. And again, what we're going to do is with our fabric glue, undo it. We know that this is about 1/2 inch. So if I go back up there, all right, and I'm just going to move that down just to flatten it out. And then I'm just going to sit this on and I can trim it off, just so that it just hangs off the side. Okay, now I can turn that over and trim that off like so. So I'm going to do it exactly the same way on this side as well. This is the centre of my journal, or what will be, and this will be where we're sewing our signatures in, or just the one signature. You can put as many signatures as you like in, I suppose, but I'm just going to do the one. All right. And once again, we'll roll that out, set that up the top, just hang on to it, and lightly lay it down as we go. You've got time to move it if need be. Right, trim that one off, like so. That one can now go away as well. Right, there's our centre. Back onto here. And we're going to create another tag, of course, which will be this one this time. So I've already inked him. I've already stamped it. Nice and easy. That one's going to go in. That one's got more space, so that's fine. I may need to trim a little bit off this because I want it so that it sits dead at the top of that. So yes, so this one's going to need to have a little bit off it. So I can take that to start with. I'm going to take a little bit at the bottom because I've got to remember that I'm going to have a tab at the top. So just before I re-ink that, let's have a look and see how we're going now. There you go, perfect. Right, I didn't need to take that much off at all. Just going to re-ink that. We're going to grab our other tab, which was this one, and we're going to do exactly the same thing. So again, with my oval, fold it in half long ways, okay, just so that it matches up. Give it a good push with your bone scorer or something hard. All right, and once again, I'm going to, if I thought about it, I could have done the two together and just kept trimming them off, but I didn't. So I'm just going to take that little bit there, straight up. Same on this side. Now you can either cut it from that, or you can trace around it again. So if you can just sit it on there if you like. If you're far happier doing it that way than just trying to hang on to that little piece and using your scissors, make sure your pencil's sharp so that you can get as close to the edge as you can and just follow that round and then do it with your scissors. So either way will work. It's whatever's going to work for you. Okay, now I've got pencil lines on there and I'm not worried about that because, again, I ink for a reason. And I ink to take away all of those sorts of things. Okay, so both sides, just to give it some texture as well. And once again, I'm going to stamp a number on that. If I open that out, it's going to be easier for this little black duck to do that. So I want another number. So let's go down here and we'll find a number, but it needs to be a number that's going to fit on there. I'm going to put my last number back and we're going to find, mind you, so see this is larger, but if I didn't ink up the reference, that bit will fit on there. So let's have a look. you can either sit a piece of paper over that. So let's say we get scrap piece of paper. No, let's just grab one of these. Got scrap pieces of paper everywhere. And my ink pad. And what I'm going to do, put that on there. I'm going to sit it that way because I'm a righty. And I'm just going to sit my piece of paper directly over that. So all I'm inking up is my numbers. Like so. Missed that bit. These things happen. That's because I'm doing a video. Alright, and again, because we're going to do the back as well, turning it round though, Kylie, so that you're taking off the correct ones, which is those ones. Make sure I ink it properly this time. Put my lid back on that one. And we're going back down here. And this time we'll make sure that we've done it all correctly. So it's called taking your time. Okay. So we'll set this one aside. This one we're going to do exactly the same as the other one. So popping our tag on there. Again, we'll just pop a little bit of glue on there to start with. Straight across from one bit to the other. Just fill that in. Again, try and find your centre, which for me is going to be that one, isn't it? 1, 2, 2, 3. It's that one. It's the centre. There you go. Undo that out. There you go. From there to there. There to there. All right, bit of glue on this side. And our next tag is done. I haven't looked at what time I've been going. Let's have a look. Oh, 42 minutes. I said to my husband, oh no, this one will be really quick. I've done all the prep work prior. I said it'll be about 35 minutes, 40 minutes. I think I have a problem with time. What do you reckon? Right, so that's that one. Let's get our signatures sewn in before we go any further, which are here and here, right? And then we've only got our side ones and a little bit of prep in there. But let's get our signatures. Again, as I said before, I've just gone and got some scraps, and they're all sorts of different. That's a piece of a brown paper bag by the look of it. Bit of lined paper, bit of packaging, bit of music sheet. Okay, so I've got 4 in there. These ones measure, of course, to fit that, which is 2 3/4 inches or 7 centimetres by 9.5 centimetres or 3 3/4 inches. So what I need is one of those. And where's another one of those? There. And they're so easy when you're doing this sort of thing because you don't have to worry too much. Now, I like these just a little bit smaller than the book, which is what this one is. So I'm just going to hold you on there, push that right down, and I'm going to clip that one on there, just like that. So what we need now is we'll need a needle. We will need an awl to pierce it. We will need a piercing mat. And we'll need something to sew it all together with. So, no need to measure or to do anything when it's just a single signature in a little book, because you're not having to match up other signatures or anything else. So I will eyeball it, and I'll just go, yeah, that's about the middle. And then hope that I'm in the middle of that. Yes, that I am. And then I'll go down and I'll go, about 3/4 of the way down from here to here is about there. Okay? Don't sit there and stress about it too much. And then I'm going to do the same for the top, about 3/4 of the way up somewhere about there, like that. And look, they've all come out in the centre. How awesome is that? Don't you like that? That's just pretty good. Pretty good. All right, so I know this needle's easy to thread. So this is just straight crochet cotton. So one, general rule of thumb, 3 times the length of the book that you're doing. I will still cut some of this away, but it gives me enough room to tie or tie a bow or to do anything like that with. So I'm going to try and put that through there like that. That's why we've got the big needle. It's probably overkill this needle, but I needed something big that I could actually see. So I'm going to go from the middle, from the inside, middle up. You've probably all seen this before. You'll all know how to do this. If you don't, this is the quick and easy way to sew a signature in. So from the middle, on the inside, out, up to the top. Pull that through. Then we're going to go all the way down to the bottom, straight through. We want to keep our little piece, our tail that we've got here. We're just going to hang on to that, make that nice and tight, and then we're going to go back through that middle hole, okay, without grabbing the rest of that cotton. You don't want to grab the rest of the cotton. And you want to come up so that we're now on the other side of that. So that what will happen, and I'll take that needle out, is we've got one piece on one side of this thread and one piece on this. This is where you want to just start to manoeuvre it, because what you want is to have these slightly twangy. That would be the word, wouldn't it? Like that. Can you hear how they twang? Means they're nice and tight. So from that, we're just going to tie a knot. Tie a double knot. Go the other way. And then when I'm doing little books like this, I actually like to tie a bow. So, and this is why I like that extra bit of length that we had. So the 3 lengths, the same size as your book. And then we're just going to manipulate our little bow. And we'll take a little bit in, we'll take a little bit in, we'll take a little bit in, because we don't need so much there. We're just going to make it a sweet little bow on the inside, like that. That's not coming apart. So we can do that, and we can do that. Now what you've got is a book. You've got this gorgeous little pocket journal, right? We've got bits in here, we've got tags in here. Oh, we might need something in here. Hang on a moment. I've got one just about prepared. Again, a stamped piece. I don't know whether I need to trim this down or not. Yes, I will. I'll need just a little bit off this. So, going to take just a little bit, that one, and I might take a little bit more off the top just so that it's nice and even. This was again just a stamp. Let's have a look, see if it fits in. Now, you're far better off to have it a little bit too small than a little bit too big. That's not straight anyway. Straighten that end up. Look at that. Nowhere near straight, Kylie. Straighten there. Look at that. Right. So we'll need a little bit of ink back on the top of that and on the top of that. And this time what I want is a side tab. So what I'm going to use for this one is some little labels like these. Okay. And so all I'm going to do is fold them in half, but I'm going to use my darker one first just to give them a really good edge so that they stand out on my page. I'm going to fold them in half. Gosh, look at the ink on me. All right. And then these are going to go in like so. Okay. So open them out, grab my glue. from there I can work out where I want him to go. So I'm going to make sure that this is nice and straight, like that. And I'm going to pop him around about there so that this line comes down about this line. I don't want him to stick out too far. That's not straight. How did you manage that? That's straight. Right. Glue that together. Fold him over. And now we've got a tab sitting out of this one as well. And all done with a sheet of coffee dyed copy paper and some scraps. That's been it. Haven't put a pocket in that one yet. And that one will be the same. And I've got one sitting here ready to go. Let's have a look for the length of that. And I'm thinking I can do exactly the same with that one. So we'll trim that bit off. And we'll trim this bit off. As I said before, it can be a little bit too small. You just don't want it too large. Let's have a look. And that'll fit in nicely. Make sure I've got the right ink one there. But I had my dark one there for a while. Right, we'll do the same with this one as we did with the other one. These are all just odd stamps that I had that I like as background stamps. And I had another one here somewhere. There it is. So I've got this one. Now, he's quite large. What I'm thinking I might do is actually trim it back a bit, and I'm going to leave a little bit of that, I don't know, military green? Is it military green? Just to give it another layer, but it's trimmed it back in size. Again, not quite certain where these ones came from, sorry. They could be Tracy Fox, these ones. All right, fold it in half, ink around it, and we are done. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Thank you for watching. If you're still here, mwah, thank you so much. Thank you all for those of you that have subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, I would love to have you on board. There we go. That one's going to go in there like that. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all those that support me and comment and all the rest. I will leave the links to everything down below, as in, you know, in the description box. Go to the description box. You should always go to the description box in anybody's video. You'd be surprised what you find there. And until next time, thank you so much. Happy crafting. And look at that. Done, done, done like dinner. And there we go. I hope you've enjoyed this little one. I have thoroughly enjoyed making them. And as I said before, not finished. Oh, here, finished. I did another one with an atlas that I actually saw Jez from Nigeza Creates do something different with an atlas the other day, a big atlas, and I went, oh my word. So same thing, bigger sheet, because it's come out of a large atlas, world atlas. So again, and look, I tried to stay away from my normal colours. So this one could be a travel journal, ready for you to tuck all your bits and pieces in. Got lots of things to tuck. There's all our journaling space again. You can pop your ticket and your receipts and all the rest in there. Look at that. I haven't done my side pockets in it yet, I know. But you could pop all your receipts and bits and pieces. So that's a larger version using a world atlas. Big, 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 big sucker. So I hope you've enjoyed these. I have thoroughly enjoyed making these. They're just gorgeous. They would fit into another journal. They would fit into your handbag. Great for gifts. Great for happy mail, swaps, things like that. Thank you all for sticking with me, guys. Okay, bye.